Welcome back to It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mase and Cam.
Killer, what's good?
Murda, what's up? I'm into
Yeah, man. I was looking at the clock. I had what's going on in there?
Right, like a clock.
Nah, my masseuse. My hand is hurting, man. I have my masseuse on deck today. It's a lot of things I'd settle down for you, Murda. You know?
Yeah, is she a masseuse or
a massage therapist? A massage therapist, and this is actually you met Mase before, and this is a title. See, so Stat, I don't know if you've seen. We actually talked about Is What It Is, but there's a whole topic we had because she made it clear that a masseuse is not a massage therapist. So break down your thing real quick, what a masseuse, the difference is.
A masseuse is probably someone who does the massages but then does the happy endings in the end. A licensed massage therapist does not do that.
Whoa.
Oh.
So they don't call themselves masseuses.
I didn't even know that.
So she's not a masseuse.
The term masseuse can be used if you're an elder because it's out of respect. Mm-hmm. But this day and age, no. It's a disrespect to a massage therapist.
Mase said, so because you can't hear Mase.
She's a therapist.
Yeah, she said, yeah, she's a therapist. She's not a masseuse. She actually gets offended if you call her that.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. For who?
Yeah, Killer.
Good for who?
I just need to know.
Who is it good for?
I see you getting a massage. I just needed to know that I saw you was on time because Nick hits me up, right? Pause. And Nick asked me after I told him, yo, my head was hurting crazy. I had to rest. All of that. He said, yo, is it a sick day or 1,500? I like that.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's great?
So I'm just checking on the time.
Yo, Murda, let me tell you something, right? So we had a quick discussion, right, on...
Yeah.
So we had a discussion on the show, another show, and we was talking about... And this it's relating to what you just said about Nick, because Nick probably don't know, but he'll find out. But I was saying is this, so Sin asked me, right, what the fuck, what was it about? We asked if who did an interview, Larry, if somebody did an interview, who did the interview with the Opps that we was talking about? And Sin asked me if I did it. If he would do that, would I be mad? No. So cool. We can talk about that too after this. You can actually start with this. Did you see what's going on with Cam Newton and Stephen A. Smith?
No.
Okay, so do you know that Jason Whitlock always has a problem with Stephen A. Smith all the time?
I do know that.
You do know that. Cam Newton interviewed Jason Whitlock, and Jason Whitlock was talking shit about Stephen A. Smith on the show. So a week later, they questioned Cam Newton like, yo, why would you do that? Kendrick Perkins, Ryan Clark, like, yo, Stephen A. brought you on First Take, yada, 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 yada. Why would you interview somebody and not only interview his enemy, let him talk shit about him? So, it's a big discussion, and Stephen A. kind of told Cam, yo, it ain't no problem, but it is loyalty in this business. And Cam Newton said, when it comes to this business, it's no loyalty. And that's what his comment was. So Sin asked me if he did that, would I fire him? And I told him, I wouldn't fire you because I play a different type of game. You would quit before I even fire you for the shit that I would probably do. You would quit before I fire you. You'll be ass naked on the I-15 interview on the nigga on 115 degrees. If you don't want to do that, then I ain't got no choice. But let's start the show with that, Mase. What do you feel about Cam Newton actually interviewing Jason Whitlock, not just interviewing Jason Whitlock, because we know the history between him and Stephen A. Smith, him actually letting him talk about, because Cam could have edited it wasn't live.
Yeah.
He actually let him talk about Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith didn't address Cam Newton in the beginning because he said, whatever, but Ryan Clark and Kendrick Perkins basically came to the defense of Stephen A. Smith, like, this dude gave you a platform, this, that, and the third, and Cam Newton, like, I got my own platform. Ain't no loyalty in this business. 2 questions. How do you feel about that? And then secondly, would you fire Cam Newton from First Take if you were in this position?
If I was in Stephen A's position?
Yes.
I think sometimes you have to do what you know is best. I think to think that another man is going to make the decision that you want him to make is kind of naive, right? Like, no matter how much you could have love for me, you're going to make the decision that Cam should make. That's what makes you Cam. I'm going to make the decision that makes me Mase. That's what makes me Mase. Like, and I think when you look at this kind of interview, I think this is what's missing, not particular this interview, but interviews of this type. It's so much biasness in media that people don't get the real stories. Unless we really do real journalism starts with facts and truth. So if this is a person that holds a portion of the story that we need, for us to go around this person is for us to have to make up our own story. And I think it's time to write a new narrative in media. That's really why I got into it. Other than just really work with you, it's really to write a new narrative in media. It's time for a new narrative. People have always protected the people they love. They've always protected the people they rock with. So then you never really get the truth. You're always listening to biased stories by biased people. I think one of the biggest interviews in the world would be one of us, right? But who would do that? You get what I'm saying? But that's what media is really about. Media is really about telling the stories that other people cannot tell. You sitting right there and him having a mic and the lights on both of y'all with, okay, go from the beginning to now. You'll break the internet. Will be no story bigger than that. But do you want to do it? Do you feel like doing it? That's real media at its best. There's no story that will be bigger than that.
Instead, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm on the verge because, like, if I had to put myself in that position, and Mase, I understand where you're coming from because you want a holistic point of view. You don't want everything to be biased. Like, people should be able to stick to the facts. I totally understand that. But if I was invited or I brought somebody on my show that didn't like y'all, right? I'm not just finna let them sit and say bad things about y'all. Like, you can have your opinion, and especially if I know you're saying things that I know are not true about y'all and your character, like regardless of what, because you know, the internet also makes a lot of assumptions. So y'all are 2 people that I sit next to 5 times a week. Me personally, you can't say this about Cam, you can't say this about Mase because that's not true. And so I also have the right, I can be unbiased, but I'm gonna ask questions and also clear things up that I know aren't true about y'all, because you're not also finna sit up here on my platform that I know is gonna reach a lot of people and spew out things that I know do not represent you guys' character. Like, there's a line there too. So it's like, I don't even think it's a problem of like, cool, you don't like somebody that I talk to every day. That's fine, but you're not gonna come up here, talk about them, and then continue to say things that diminish their character that I know aren't true. At that point, then I have to step in and I have to be like, look, I invited you up here. I appreciate you being up here, but what you're saying about these 2 individuals, at least isn't my experience. You can have your opinion, but I'm not going to sit here and let you badmouth them. That's just not going to happen. I'm
not talking about badmouthing people. I'm actually talking about, I think the man pause conversation is what's missing. It's so easy to have a great platform and use your platform to stir a narrative. I miss Barbara Walters, where she sat next to the person and said exactly what she wanted to say and asked exactly what she wanted to ask to the person's face without biasness. That's what's missing, right? Like, so let's say Puff comes home from jail. What better person to interview him than me to ask the real questions? What better person to be sitting there in a suit with some glasses like this? Because you can't lie to the person you're talking to. And that's what's missing. That's what we're missing. I get excited when I hear truth. You know, when I hear people talk, that's why I was so turned off with media and so turned off with music, because you're missing the truthfulness. And that's what really drives even music. I miss people like Tupac. I miss people actually getting on a mic with something to say, and you knew what they say every time they open their mouth, pause, they were going to say something that was going to shake the culture. Not this Kanye stuff where you're saying stuff and we know it's calculated. We know why you're saying what you're saying. I miss truth.
Yeah, I totally agree with Stat and Stephen A. Smith. Because niggas just be saying anything. And that don't mean because you're in front of them, they not just going to say anything again. I think if Stephen A. Smith sat down with Jason Whitlock, it would not solve anything. I think because Jason Whitlock, that's what Stephen A. Smith was saying in his interview. He's like, Cam, only reason I'm mad at Cam because you didn't even fact check. He's saying a bunch of stuff that you know is not true. And I think it's to the point with Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith to where if they're in front of him, each other, the Jason Whitlock would call him a liar and Stephen A. would call him a liar. It's too deep, a pause. Like when it gets that deep sometimes, it's unrepairable. You know what I'm saying? Like the me and your situation is rare. The Isaiah Magics, it doesn't happen all the time. Like if you're grown enough, now don't get me wrong, now to agree with you, what you're saying, if you're grown enough to have those convos, absolutely. But you can look and see from niggas' posture, from the way niggas acting, that they still haven't grown to that level to even have a sit down. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I know
that's what I'm speaking of. Okay. That's what I'm speaking of, though. I'm not speaking of ignorance versus ignorance. I'm speaking when people are actually able to have that conversation. Like before we had the conversation with Sean, right? And you asked me, you say, yo, Mase, you want to have Sean on here? I said, bet. I didn't fear anything he could say. I'm a guy's guy, right? I like being around Paul. It's not a guy's guy, but you get what I'm saying? Like I don't drink in front of other men. Like I don't become something different. My story doesn't change. I'm very matter of fact. People say, yo, Mase, you said that. I said, I actually said more than that, but they didn't get everything, pause. So when it comes to that, people are not used to being around people that keep their story the same. Most people get around people and be like, nah, that ain't how it went. Nah, bro. So when we got in front of Sean, I was excited because it was going to be the first time we spoke. And he knows who I am. He knows I wasn't going to change or be anything different. I think that's what makes me me. So I love that. And to your credit, but you do have to have people that are ready to let their lies go. People have to be ready to let them lies go. You can't go to heaven with them lies, man. You got to, at some point, you got to tell the truth. So I like the fact that even when Sean got on here, he was like, you know what? I'm going to just say exactly how it went, and I think I wasn't there for all of his story, but the part that he shared, I thought there was truth to what he was saying.
Yeah. And what I'm saying, what you're saying is right. I'm adding on to it. We're talking about a pastor and a politician. Y'all are elevated. Not everybody is there.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Great point.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody's not there. And I just don't think it's for everybody. And you could tell, the thing about it is this, Murda. You could watch niggas and tell it ain't, it's not, because you could give niggas a survey and be like, look.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell when people are comfortable in their own skin. You could tell when people are comfortable with the past but not just comfortable with the past, they're comfortable with the present. Like I don't need no more trophies. I don't need no more accolades. I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, and once you know who you are, you can stand in front of other people and you could be okay with him having a better watch or a better house or a better car. I think some people just are not there yet, you know, and to your point. But the time of writing new narratives is over. That's what I'm really talking about, where people are lying about the past and making new truths, not new narratives.
Yeah, they rewriting history.
Rewriting history.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's not how it went, bro. And that's why sometimes people always get mad with us because we were there. Mm-hmm. You can't say that Mase wasn't there. You can't say that killer wasn't there. And when I speak, I have an elephant's brain. I remember everything. I remember what we were wearing. Pause. I remember where we were. I remember who exactly was there. And when people put themselves in situations, it's like, bro, you really wasn't there, bro.
Right. Yeah, and that's a fact. But not only that, and to agree with you, but not only that, people don't have the skin, elephant skin that we have. You know how many people be in the comments or say, these two different type of niggas, they up there talking about when they dissed each other. They up there. Yeah. Yo, the nigga Kim up there laughing about the Oracle. And the nigga, like, fam, everybody here don't got that skin to be like.
Yeah, nigga said something about your sister. It's bro, when it's war, it's war. Yeah. It's not, nobody's off limit.
Yeah, but the point being is that I'm just happy that we're in a place that we could talk about that. Some niggas is just, you know, they fairy tale that went too far to where they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? And Jason Whitlock and Stephen A is just, to me, is unrepairable. I think Stephen A's grown enough to do it, but I don't think Jason Whitlock has. But that's a great conversation to know. Because I thought you made some really, really valid points, but that has to be a two-way street. Absolutely.
Yeah. After that, y'all
if you're not done lying, that's what we will say. If you're not done lying, you're not ready to have the conversation.
Yeah, man.
Well, I want to add to that really quick, Mase, before we move on. But what if it's truth in their eyes? Because you always say there's always two different sides. There's two truths. And I'm like, what if yours doesn't align with theirs, but that's truly what they believe? Then is there a point where you can come to an agreement, or you just decide to go your separate ways? Because that's kind of the situation.
What you believe, yes, what you believe and what's true to you is slightly different, right? You could believe that that's what happened, but you knowing that's what happened is different, right? Yeah. So if we're both watching a fight and I saw two swings and he grabbed this guy and he threw him on the floor. You can say, I think this guy won, but we're given two different narratives, but the story should be slightly the same. It shouldn't be so far that I saw him get punched 3 times and thrown on the floor, and you come in and say, my truth is he won. There's no way he won if he got punched 3 times and thrown on the floor. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could have a different variation of the story, but it shouldn't be that dramatic, because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. One more thing that I want to add, because now it's making my brain think. I think the last thing that I'll add regarding the situation, especially Cam Newton, I know it's his platform. He's going to want to get his views and do what you want to do, and I understand that. But an aspect that a lot of people lack nowadays is also everything doesn't have to be a public conversation or left in. Because also, if that is somebody's truth, that's fine. You know, the truth versus the reality, what you think, cool. But out of respect for somebody that you respect and are interacting with every day, because, you know, people beef all the time. It happens. I understand. Some things don't have to be put to the internet, especially in that case scenario. Like if it's, you know, they have a strong hatred and you can address it, cool, whatever. But when it starts going past a certain amount of time, it's like, you're not even just telling your truth or your side. You sound like you're hating. And then I'm allowing the whole thing to be publicized. And then I don't say anything towards that statement. It's like, And I mean, Cam
Yeah.
brought up, he said there's no loyalty, but then I don't know how I feel
Cam
about
Newton.
that.
Yeah, I think if you, I honestly, I want to say this because this is really on my heart to say. If you keep making media, right, you keep putting stories out there just to hurt people,
Yes.
then that's coming back to you.
Yes.
That's definitely coming back to you. It's one thing about us doing takes about what we believe, and it's another thing when you just on purpose is out here slandering people just to get views. I think that gotta stop the where black media is today. It's like people think the only way they could be a success is to say the negative thing. I think the truth is as entertaining, especially if you have enough charisma and you have enough wherewithal and style and delivery like we have. We're just taking the truth. We're not pinpointing anybody. We're not saying today, man, Killer is not on the phone like, yo, today we're going to destroy so-and-so. These questions are just coming to us and we're giving our honest take on it. I think honesty could be as entertaining. You don't have to like keep this person's name on your algorithm. You don't have to continuously say something about Killer or say something about me just to make your story go. I think you're as entertaining if you look into those parts of your life. But what I would say with this whole story with Jason Whitlock, as we keep going on, is that this is probably a conversation, like Killer said, is never going to happen. They're not ready to have that conversation.
Yeah, I agree. But some people also need to learn to just be a little nicer. That's what I'll say.
I just think too, to add on to what y'all saying is, it's to like you gotta think about this. I don't know how Jason Whitlock is. Stephen A. Smith is 58.
He's 58 too.
They're both 58. How much time is left? You know what I'm saying? Like, just move forward.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
It's at the point where, look, I'm not going to spend the last 32 years I got or whatever much time I got left on the planet if I'm Stephen A. as Jason, or well, more Stephen A., I would say. Addressing you every 2 months. If you want to address me, fine. Nigga, we on the clock. You know what I'm saying? Niggas on the clock, and if that's how you want to spend your time, cool. I get Stephen A. too, though. He come back you got to think about this. When Stephen A. addresses this, it's like after 27 things was said, then he'd be like, okay, I got to say something there. It's to the point where it's enough. He tries to ignore it as much as he can. But you got certain people and certain bloggers that make a career off talking about 3 niggas. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I'm not just talking about Jason Whitlock. I'm talking about certain bloggers in general. They focus in on 3 niggas, 4 or 5, and then sprinkle it with a couple other niggas, and that's how they lick. Because if you want to know about this person, just go to their blog. And they sit in the house and just make a living talking about niggas. I ain't knocking them. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, in general, that's where we're at in society.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think arguing is a poor man's sport. I think we should just start calling it a poor man's sport. I think when people are rich and they're doing well, they're not really interested in arguing. That is really a poor man's sport.
Great conversation. Now on to Kirk Cousins. So he will be signing a 5-year, $172 million deal with the Raiders. That in reality is a 1-year, fully guaranteed $20 million deal. So Mase, what's your opinion on his deal and him being a Raider?
Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Whoever his agent is, he's the man.
Word.
Kirk Cousins just been getting chicken after chicken. And he's probably a phenomenal guy, pause, when it comes to the locker room. Because everywhere he goes, they open the checkbook for Kirk Cousins. I know his wife, pause, must be happy because her husband just keep getting to the bag. And I've never seen somebody not perform at such a Super Bowl level and get this money time after time. So again, I think his agent needs a bonus, pause, whatever his fee is, he need to go up. Him and Kirk Cousins need to be buddies. He need to write him in his will somehow, leave something to the agent, because this agent has been really good. I'm interested to know his name. Stat, look up his name. But I say shout outs to the agent, man. I think this is great. It adds some stability to the Raiders locker room, and it adds a real general when it comes to like personnel when it comes to the Raiders, because sometime in turning a franchise around is you need somebody at the helm with a good attitude, not just could play the sport, but a good communicator and a good facilitator. And I think with everything that Kirk Cousins has seen over the years and his attention to detail, playing in Atlanta, playing in Minnesota, all of these different places, I think he's well versed to help even some of the new guys that'll come in. And when you're turning around a team, it doesn't happen overnight. So if it's going to be a lot of different directions and different directives, you need a great communicator. And I think Kurt is that kind of guy. And he's definitely a player's player where people will love to be around him. So this is a great beginning of changing the culture of the Las Vegas Raiders.
His agent's Mike McCartney, by the way. And Cam is enjoying his massage therapist, not masseuse. I'm locked in. I get it.
Yeah, what we doing?
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I heard Mase. I was just having my eyes closed.
Damn, I don't know about this massage therapist with the pink horsepower.
Massage therapist and the pink horsepower. Nah. This is two separate different things. I heard everything you said. I had my eyes closed, but I agree with you. That was going to be my take. Whoever his agent is, the agent is lit, bro. That, like you said, you said everything that I was going to say about the agent. Like, Kirk Cousins, we just talked about this a day or two ago, when he's the fourth highest paid player, Nick, in NFL history. Think about NFL history. We're talking about NFL history. I'm talking about out of everybody, and what you said, Mase, is correct. For a nigga not even to win the Super Bowl, like, yo,
have to check.
I don't even think he been to a Super Bowl. Kurt ain't even been to a Super Bowl, and the fourth highest paid. Them niggas not manipulate. They found the loophole in the game. They used them franchise tags to their advantage. Him and his agents, big props to both of them. I think also this, right? When you think about what's going on with and you also said it, Mase. It seems like he's great in the locker room wherever he goes. They fuck with him. I remember he's on the jet dancing with all the jewelry, so one of the players' jewelry on and all that shit. That was a really dope clip. But I think I think it's this, right? They're going to get the number one pick, the Raiders, that is, and they're going to get Mendoza. That's the quarterback that's going to come out, and he's going to go number one to the Raiders. And you would like a veteran who could still play to teach him, look, this is what you need to do. This is what you don't need to do. You know, give him some guidance. But let's be realistic. You know who wanted that job, Murda?
Who, Shador?
No, I mean Shador's in Cleveland. I'm talking about that job Kirk Cousins had. We talked about it last week. Do you remember?
Who?
Tom Brady. Tom Brady tried to go to the NFL and find out,
can he play one more time?
Yeah, can I get, let me in there, I'm going to play for the team I own. NFL was like, Tom, you wildin', niggas. You bugging out. Then Tom told me, I was just kidding. Tom had that good-ass game in that flag football, like, I'm still could cut niggas' ass. It wouldn't have been no Kirk Cousins if the NFL said, Tom, you gonna play for the team you own, let's do it. And that's why you gotta fuck with the NFL, because think about how much money the NFL would make if Tom Brady comes back and plays this season. Not only plays this season, plays for the team they own.
For Vegas.
Yes, and nigga said, Tom, the shield is the shield, my nigga. That's that. Give the team up and come back or own the team. We're not playing these games with you. We know you Tom Legend and all that. We're not doing it. But it would be no Kirk Cousins in Vegas if they told Tom Brady that he would be able to play. Tom, we see you. I'm not mad at the attempt. I would have loved to see it personally.
Yeah. That would have been the perfect setup. A smooth, he probably would have got more than 20 mil, of course. And then you got the number 1 draft pick, which we know is probably, I'm saying probably, is going to be Mendoza. So then he gets to work with him like that. And then you're in Vegas. Still a great city. So.
Yeah, so you still, but don't get it wrong, you still get Brady to help out because Brady's part of ownership. So you got Kirk Cousins and you got Brady.
This whole situation's amazing.
Right.
And we need more of us in those situations.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just thinking they just move so smart.
Yeah, listen, man. Smart. Tom Brady would have been playing. It would have been crazy. I would have loved to see it, man. But not mad at the leadership that Mendoza's going to have when he gets there. See, think about this too. What you think about this, Murda? See, Mendoza, my opinion is this. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm asking you your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Tom it looked like Tom may have been the type of nigga been like, come on, we done lost 2 straight. I need to get in there. What you think about if Tom ended up getting the job? It wouldn't have been a lot of mistakes would have been able to happen with Mendoza because Tom would have been itching to get in there. They could have went 10-0 and lost 2 straight, and Tom would have been like, I'm thinking I should take over. It's almost playoff time. Do you think Tom would have gave homeboy time to grow, or he would pause? Or you think he would have tried to get back in there quicker than he needed to be, if need be?
According to his last take, Tom would have, after 3 games, Tom would have said, now what we doing now? You trying to win or not?
Yeah.
Ain't no need of having me here and not activate me. All that.
Yeah.
And you know, with Tom being on his sideline, it's almost like Iverson coming off the bench, right? Yeah. You just can't have Iverson on the bench. It's bad for the arena.
Right.
Everybody is going to be asking, yo, why they don't have Iverson in there? So sometimes when older players want to just be on the bench, they can't because their name and their story is so lit and their storyline has been so big that it's impossible to just hide them on the bench, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I think towards the end of his career, talking about Carmelo Anthony, they like, this nigga too legendary to be bringing off the bench. You know what I'm saying? But think about it. Tom is already manipulating the game. Tom's an owner, but still an NFL analyst every weekend. And I've seen other people complain about that because what happens is when you're an NFL analyst and you're announcing the game, you get a lot of insights from teams. So let's just say the Seahawks are playing the Browns. You get to talk to the coaches, a couple of the players, what's the game plan, so you have knowledge on what you're announcing. And I've seen people say, if I'm any of these teams that got to talk to Tom before he announces the game, I'm not telling Tom nothing. So he could take it, this was last year, so he could take it back to Las Vegas. Nah, man, y'all tripping, nigga. You're talking about give Tom the insight, and then he go back to Vegas. And then what happens was one game when he wasn't announcing, they had him in the skybox with the headphones on. Nick, show all this in the show while I'm talking about it too, so people can actually see the shit.
Yeah.
So they say
Skybox Gate.
Yes, it's Skybox Gate. So you're getting information from teams so you can announce the game, and the next thing you know, you up there with the Raiders in the skybox with the headphones on. It's wild, man. But stat slogan. If you could get away with it, run it.
And they are, not even if, they're actually doing it. So shout out to them for figuring out how to finesse the system because a lot of us are still not there. But Vegas is going to be lit. And then literally 2029, like the Super Bowl, like this is all curated. Like they know, everybody knows what they're doing. We're just.
Yeah, so we got so one year we got the baseball team should be back here that year. That new NBA team should be back in Vegas, and then the Super Bowl all 1 year.
That's insane.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. Okay, on that note, we're going to go to break. When we return, we will discuss Puka Nacua. Don't go anywhere.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. What's happening me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about she wanna be free. Why am I in this woman wanna be free?
So, Puka Nacua has entered a rehabilitation facility amid allegations of assault. So we had talked about it one of our prior episodes, being accused of biting somebody. It was a whole conversation. So he checked into a luxury treatment center in Malibu. His attorney actually told NFL's Ian Rappaport. The statement said Puka takes responsibility for his well-being and increasing his performance during the offseason. So in early March, before any temporary restraining order was filed and subsequently denied by the court, Puka voluntarily entered a holistic care facility to focus on his personal growth. Mase, what's your opinion on Puka's situation and him deciding to check into the facility?
Who did he bite?
It was some girl. They were going out. I don't know if they knew each other, but that's what she claimed. So it's alleged, but yes.
So after he bites her, I'm just taking in the story. After he bites her, he goes into holistic rehab.
Well, I mean, she alleged it was assault, so I don't know when things happened, but yes, he checked into rehab.
Biting is assault stat.
Well, I'm saying alleged because I don't know what actually happened. I'm just reading the statement she put out. So I don't want to put that on him because I don't know. You know?
So I'm supposed to say, how do I feel about the allegations or
I actually don't think you were on that episode when we spoke about the allegations. So both. One, your opinion on the allegations of him biting a woman.
Oh, yeah.
And then two, your opinion on him deciding to take it into his own hands and check into rehab regarding the situation and what we've seen from him in the offseason.
What kind of rehab is it?
It just says a holistic care facility. So he's going to be focusing on personal growth. There's been different videos of him outside and like a little lit, and people have been catching him on video.
Let me go first, Mase, on this one, if you don't mind. If that's okay with you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Listen, we got to stop doing shit and covering it up with mental health, with rehab. Joe, you did it. You're on steroids. And then I got to take time from out. You're biting bitches. You're nibbling, whatever you're doing, because that's the topic, Mase. I don't think you was on the show.
Yeah.
We wasn't sure. It wasn't like because we talking about he got a biting problem. Like we was trying to figure out the environment. Was it at a party at his house and he just walked up on somebody and bit him? Did he start nibbling on somebody's earlobe and it turned into Mike Tyson? Like we trying to figure out, which we never got to the bottom of. But what I will say is now that I'm hearing he's going to rehab, I feel that what are you going to rehab for? Because you got a biting problem? Should you just be randomly biting people that to the point where you got to go to rehab? I'm saying this, Murda. The reason why I'm just going to keep it short and sweet, and I know you're digesting the story. Niggas always doing, Tiger on the way to rehab out the country. I don't know if you've seen that, Murda. Yeah, he about to go to some shit. Niggas always go when this, you should have went before. This is my problem with the whole shit. Am I happy they seeking treatment? Sure. Okay, sure. That's the right thing to say, right? No, I'm glad he's getting the help that he needs. You know, we see these problems. You knew you had a problem before it went public. But now to save because you're an athlete, this is a PR thing. Let's get the PR team on it. Let's say that he's going to rehabilitation. I hope Tiger, we're going to send him out the country. Yeah, we're going to run with mental health. Yo, this is PR at its highest, at its finest. I don't be jacking him, Murda, because they could have fixed this problem when they first knew he was biting niggas. They didn't just find out he was biting people. He's
been biting people, according to the story.
Yeah, we just finding out about it. You don't just, this ain't your first bite. Pause.
And why are you biting people? Like, what's going through your mind? Like, when you meet somebody, you high five them. You just walk up to somebody and randomly just bite them. See, this is what happens. Like, you know, how somebody just walk up like, Like, yo, what are you doing, bro? It's like, it's not funny.
It's not funny.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, it's not enough information, right? Because you're right. What if you walk up to somebody and bite them? Or what if you're being like let's say for instance, you finessing, what's the word, Riz, you up there talking to the girl, and then you just getting close and bite her neck. Like, yo, when is the point? When you start saying, yo, I think I need to bite this chick, man. Yo, let her know it's real.
Bro, y'all are not real people.
Is that his Riz? Is that his Riz? You look good enough to bite you. I can just bite you right now. Is that his opening line?
Yeah.
Like, what is he walking up? And do they like this, right? Is he so rich that they like it? Like, stop, Puka. He really bites somebody, and it's like, yo, he really bit you? The girl go in the bathroom like, yeah, he really bit me. He's crazy. It's like, he bite me, I'm calling the police.
And that's the point, right, Murda? That's a great point what you just said. He might have been bit 17 chicks. The 18 chicks said, hold on now, you biting people.
Yeah.
Like,
y'all let him bite y'all? Yeah, he always do this. You know, they just making light of it because he rich. You know, when you rich, people get away with a lot of stuff until somebody's like, no, this was not right. Like, he bit you. Yeah, I got 14 stitches, you know? And they telling their friend, and we just saying hypothetically, right? And this happens to somebody like, no, if he ever bites me, I'm calling the police. And then he comes down and everybody like, here he goes. And the girl like, he better not bite me. And she's the first one he bites.
Yeah.
It's like a pit bull off the leash, you know?
Yeah.
And then they say he's going to rehab after. Whenever you go to rehab right after the accusation, it's saying you did it. It's giving you did it.
Yeah, and it's given you've been doing it. You gotta realize, Murda, you said rich, right? Which is correct. But think about this. A lot of these pro athletes been lit since they was 9, 10 years old. When did this start? He just ain't have the money.
He's been biting people.
Yeah.
You think he's been biting. Yeah, this is what you're thinking.
Yeah, he could have been biting since he been All-American.
The nod.
And when you're good enough, they'll cover it up, according to your statement. If you're good enough, they'll find a way to get rid of it. You know, he's just playing. He'll grow out of it. He's older. He can grow out of it. That's how it be. He'll grow out of it. Now he didn't grow out of it. Who's responsible?
Great questions. We're asking great questions. And I have another great question before we go to break, because we're on the conversation of rehab, which I hope Puka gets the help.
Here go Gen Z with the help.
Yes.
Safe space.
Clearly we need more mental health days because everybody's going crazy.
Let's get a not biting female day. That's why we're at it.
Clearly. You have to explicitly say
for
things.
The violent biters.
Yeah.
You have to say things because things are coming up that we didn't even know was a thing to be worried about. But now people got to worry.
Man, I'm going to do a commercial for this. Have you ever been bit? And with the sad music and all that. Because you're right, Stat. We don't know who's biting. Murda, right? Because you wasn't on the show, right? It's this rapper from Harlem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know this girl. I was with this girl. And she, you know, she has a lot of followers on Instagram, so on and so forth. I told the story the day you wasn't here. She has a lot of followers on Instagram, so on. She's voluptuous. And that's why not you people out there gotta be careful what you say or just don't give a fuck like me. Anyway, he was in her DMs and she showed me her DMs. She like, this is niggas from Harlem. This is what y'all be doing? And I swear on everything I love, he said, y'all just feel like biting on you. Told the girl this. This was like 4 years ago. And she wrote...
the face.
Yo, Yo, so she's like, so she wrote back, yo, you bugging. What are you talking about? Because she's one of these models that show a lot of skin, the Vickies and all that. And he said, you half naked on the gram and now you mad a nigga can't because a nigga want a little nibble. Fuck out of here. It's maybe an epidemic going on. So you're right.
It's too much going on. Like, it's always something every day. Before we go to break, because you did bring up Tiger Woods, and I did want to give the update on that because we did talk about him. So he's actually going to be leaving the U.S. to go to an international rehab. It was actually revealed when he did get pulled over and talked to the cops. He was on the phone with the president. That's what he said. So he told them that basically he was just talking to the president, which is interesting to me because his girlfriend now is the president's ex-wife. So everybody's just everybody. This is why mental health days are important, I think.
He was talking to what president? What president was he talking about?
The president that we have now.
45?
The president,
47?
the president that we have now.
You won't even say his name, Stat?
President Trump. If that's who you call your president. The president we have now.
It ain't about it. If I call him my president, it's whoever the president is.
Yes, that's
what I think it's interesting that you can't even say his name. Is that a Florida thing?
Definitely not a Florida thing. No, that's a me thing. That's a me thing. But no, I just thought that was interesting that he called him, but like I said.
Are you saying that he wasn't on the phone with the president?
No, I'm just like, now I'm thinking, because I'm like, why would that be your first call? But then it's like, obviously that's your first call because you need help. But then given that your girlfriend, that's her ex-husband, that wouldn't still be my first call. Does that make sense?
I know, I totally get where you're coming from, but you got to look at both sides because it's like, yo, call your ex-nigga. Yo, get me out this shit real quick, man.
Out of this shit.
Yo, call this shit, because this is about
imagine.
This the sixth time I got caught. So only this nigga can probably get me out this shit at this point. Trump don't give a fuck what I told you about fucking with them niggas. Let me see what I can do. Listen, I don't see nothing wrong with it. If you could try it, why not try it? I don't think that... See, that's the thing about... Well, at least me. I can't speak for everybody. I wish I could have great relationships with the people I broke up with. My shit never end good. And it don't be me. I wish, hey, what's up? None of my ex-relationships end good. Imagine I could call one of my ex-joints up like, yo, I know your nigga run the country and all that. Huh? Yo.
Crazy, though.
Yo, if we cool, why not?
Yeah.
You moved on in life. I moved on in life. I'm in trouble. Yo, do me this favor, man. Go see what your nigga can do, man. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Imagine how powerful that is if a cop pull you over, he giving you the runaround. And you say, man, you want to speak to Trump?
Yeah.
Imagine what that does to the ticket. Yeah. You want to finish writing the ticket, man, or you want to go and enjoy your night, man.
Yeah.
Here go Trump. Hey, what officer am I speaking to? I got you on speakerphone. Go ahead and say hello.
Yeah.
That's really why I brought it up, because the fact that he can do that is like, wow.
Yeah, that's...
You think they still write the tickets?
Man. Ain't nowhere in the world he drunk, flipped the car. Hey, Trump, what up? Trump got other problems right now. Y'all really believe that nigga was on the phone?
No, what I'm
Trump?
saying is, I don't know if he was high or not high, but if it is real...
Allegedly.
Yeah, if it was real, I'm not mad at it. Yeah. I'm not mad. Even if it ain't real, I'm not mad at the bluff.
Like I said, if you can get away with it,
I'm mad at the bluff.
Yeah. Because and his audio was heard on the police video, so he said, thank you so much, all right, you got it, bye. And then he told the cop, I was just talking to the president. So can't verify it, but that's what was heard, that's what was said. But I thought it was interesting.
Capping on the president will be crazy, and with the body on, what they call it, the body cam.
Yeah.
That's a crazy cap.
But what's he gonna say? Like, I didn't say that.
Let me say one thing for sure. If anybody gonna let us know if it's true or not, Trump will. Trump, I did not talk to Tiger. Yeah, he seemed a little impaired. He was like, Trump is not going to let that slide. Or he'll tell him, yeah, I had to tell Tiger you have to go in. You know what I'm saying? Trump will let you know if they come across his table at a press conference.
A lot of things going on. So, but I mean, if like Tiger can make the call and it worked, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Everything is still
we don't know. But I want to see what Trump say, because to Larry's point, nigga might have been super high. Because I thought about that too, but we just started going another direction. I can't wait till he's asked about it, because he's going to let you know yay or nay.
Yeah. Okay, so now on to basketball. Tatum is back. The Celtics actually beat the Heat 147-129. Jayson Tatum scored 25 points, 18 rebounds, and 11 assists. But we have our question of the day. So if you had to go Jayson Tatum versus Anthony Edwards, when both healthy, Mase, who would you take for the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think when it comes to this is a hard one, pause, for real, because I love both of these guys. I know a lot of times I may come up with different things when it comes to Tatum, but I really, really appreciate his gift to the game, his drive towards the game. I think he's a phenomenal talent, but my preference, Mason Betha preference, would be Anthony Edwards. I like the explosiveness. I like taking over the game. When the game is on the line, I want the ball in the hands of a person that's going to do something that's going to be historic. And I think that leans more towards Anthony Edwards when it comes to my preference and my liking. Not just because he's from Atlanta. I know people think that's why I'm saying it. But, shout outs to them both. But for me, I would go with Anthony Edwards. But I'm not mad. I know Killer probably is going to go with Tatum. He normally favors Tatum. And I normally favors Jaylen Brown. So Tatum is right there in the equation. But for me, I would go with Anthony Edwards. And that's just, but again, I'm not mad if you go with Tatum. Tatum gets one more. He's officially a member of Titletown.
This is a great question. This is actually a really, really tough question. We talk about Anthony Edwards. When you think about Ant-Man, right, just the elevation of him since he's been in the NBA, people forget that he was a #1 pick. And I remember people like, why y'all getting the nigga from Georgia? I forget who else was coming out that year, but they was wondering why they were going with Anthony Edwards. And when you think of Ant-Man, you think of how sensationally he is coming to the basket, the will to win, the defensive end. But you're not even thinking about how he led the NBA last year in three-point shots. Sin thought I was lying. What you mean Anthony Edwards led the league in three-point shots? He led the league last year in three-point shots. And we often talk about if he had a second fiddle, if he had that second person to go to. No, we say it can't be Julius Randle, it isn't DiVincenzo, it isn't Rudy Gobert. Who is it, right? Now, I said all that to say that my answer is Jayson Tatum, because I want to make sure I give Ant his flowers. I think Ant's sensational. Because think about this, if Ant had a Jaylen Brown, where would they be? Where's his Jaylen Brown? And that's what we've been talking about week after week after week after week, that he doesn't have a Jaylen Brown. If he had a Jaylen Brown, we don't know what the fuck would be going on with Minnesota. They might fuck around and break Golden State's record if he had a Jaylen Brown. But he doesn't have a Jaylen Brown. But I think that we tend to forget about yesterday. I'm talking about as America. Jayson Tatum, outside of this year because he's been injured, has been first-team All-NBA 4 years in a row. So since 2021 to 2025, Jayson Tatum's first-team All-NBA every year. Anthony Edwards is not that yet, and to Mace's point, he's also a champion. I think Anthony Edwards is there, but he needs his Jaylen Brown as well.
Yeah. Great take. And then also, unfortunately for Ant-Man, because of his injury, he's actually not eligible to receive any of the postseason awards because now he won't make that 65-game minimum. That has also been a topic of discussion just back and forth. Is it worth it? Is it not? But we're seeing how it's gonna turn out for everybody. So let us know in the comments down below who y'all would choose, Jayson Tatum or Anthony Edwards. But that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.